What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Vision here, back again with another Wednesday live. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're enjoying something. It is Wednesday, it's the middle of the week, so I got some. The reason why I'm going extra a little bit early today is I got a busy day ahead of me, but we can't ignore the live streams. We got to get at it. So I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for your support and your time. We're going to be covering the big charts. We're going to be covering some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, so maybe some other key charts that are going under the radar a little bit. Okay. If you're interested in a free Discord, I offer that. It's in the description. If you're bearish, if you're bullish, if you're neutral, I go ahead and post charts on there, free charts on there, and then we discuss that. If you're interested in a more in-depth analysis, more tools at your disposal for $5 a month, it's through the Patreon. That's also linked in the description. As always, I thank you for your time. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, you know, we got Bitcoin here on the weekly chart. Before we get into that, we have some news on the Middle East. There was so the ceasefire was extended once again. So it's almost like a cat and mouse game going on right now. Um, Ceasefire was extended. Crypto loves that. Risk on assets love that. Um, by the request of Pakistan. So Pakistan's being the mediator, almost the person in the middle with some sense that's saying, "Hey, let's figure something out." While tensions are down, right? Blockade is still in effect, and so that'll remain until a deal is done. Just for all intents and purposes, it's almost a negotiation strategy, right? Hey, we're gonna block your ports. You're gonna have trouble getting in and out. I've read some reports that Iran has been able to get ships in and out of that blockade. So how effective it is remains to be seen. But in the just general sense of showing might, right? That does look like Iran has lost its navy. It does look like Iran has lost its army, its air force. It's inept to deal with a blockade. That means the threat of Iran is really over. The war is essentially over, right? We're not. I hope we're not gonna go in there and go put people on the ground, because then it gets ugly. Then you're in close quarter combat. Then you're dealing with civilians, and then you're dealing with a lot of casualties, right? Because we know the strategy of terrorists is to use the innocent, to use the unsuspected person as weapons, right? So we don't want to do that. We don't want boots on the ground. So Navy blockade will remain intact. There's some crazy news. This one guy I follow, Insider. He's flip flopping back and forth. So I'm not gonna repost anything for a while. I'm just gonna kind of let things simmer down. There was reports that talks will resume on Friday, and then 10 minutes later, there was another tweet or whatever, an X post that said talks will not resume on Friday. So I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on right now, because people are anticipating that. I talked about it on Monday. I'm going to keep talking about it. Bears want war. Okay, I'm not, and it's not a bears want violence. Bears like people dying and all that, but they want uncertainty in the markets. They want chaos. They want fear. That's what grips. Nothing grips a market. I mean, maybe COVID did, but neither here nor there. We're not going to get in that rabbit hole. Nothing. I mean, a war really grips the market, right? Because you don't know how long it's going to be. You don't know what's being affected. You don't know what businesses, manufacturing services are being impacted in that region. For the region that we're in right now, it's oil. So yes, the world is watching, right, very closely. So talked about that on Monday. That with a peace deal, I do think the low is in. If the war continues, I think the lows will be swept. Right? It's pretty simple. The market makers will use whatever news that comes out to dictate the markets at this point. Right? So that is kind of what's going on over there. Trueflation, the Fed, the potential Fed, the Fed chair candidate, he was interviewed yesterday by Tim Scott and a bunch of other senators, and they brought up trueflation, or he brought up trueflation. He brought up the current model of measuring inflation, and he cited a document, a research article that's was backed by evidence, years and years of evidence, that the current model of inflation is incorrect. typically is either plus or minus one. I think it's one to 1.25%. So in either direction, right? It's not just down. It could be sometimes it could be up, right? It could be showing an overinflated economy. It could be showing an under a deflated economy, but it's not accurate, right? And so he did point to truflation, which is great, right? We use truflation on this channel. I'm always referencing truflation because right now there is a discrepancy. Right now, truflation is showing 1.75%. We're gonna see what the Fed shows on the 28th. I'm assuming it's not going to be changed, right? It's they're going to be showing something similar, something probably right above 2%. Maybe it rose because of oil, right? But the discrepancy is there. Warsh, he talked about that. He was asked even about the state of cryptocurrency, and he said there's no denying that cryptocurrency is the future. That cryptocurrency will be a part of the United States. So he's embracing crypto. So that's great to hear. Other than that, that's kind of what I picked up from that. I just kind of read through the summary. I watched a little bit here and there. It was pretty long. But overall, it was good, right? We're going to get that. And so, Jerome Powell's term, it will end in May. And so that's good, right? We always got to talk about what is coming in the future, why we have the mindset and the outlook of our investments, okay? Because you can't just look at charts, right? People who just look at charts, I think, are foolish. I think people who just watch the news are foolish. I think you got to do both, right? I've always been of that mindset, and that's really, my backstory. Like I've said many times, that's really when I got invested into the stock market was crypto. I saw everything going to zero. I mean, not zero, but you know what I mean. Speaking hyperbolic here, and I thought to myself, well, these large companies like Microsoft that are at $80, they're too big to fail. That there's a voice in the back of my mind saying too big to fail, too big to fail. So I picked Apple, Microsoft. I picked all these companies where it's, the negative news didn't match what the stock actually represented. And so that's kind of what's going on right now is I don't think the negative news represents what crypto is going to be in the future. Crypto is going to be in the future. Crypto is going to be used in the future. It's being referenced by the Fed chair. It's being referenced by the President of the United States. It's being referenced by the Senator Lumens with the she's crypto task force. It's being by Paul Adkins. All these financial advisors, all these people who are surrounding the President of the United States, the most powerful country in the world, are saying we believe in crypto. It is going to happen. It's right now. It's a smoke and mirror game. It's a cat and mouse game. If they told you everything, if they told you the plan before it happened, then what's the point of enacting a plan, right? They need to let the plan unfold. And right now it's uncertainty. It's, okay, we're going to kind of press China with their oil. We're going to press the EU with their oil from Iran while we use our reserves in Venezuela. Why do you think we attacked Venezuela first and got the dictator out so we could establish our embassy, which we have already done, and now we have a bunch of oil from there. So that's kind of what's going on. What's up, Banano? Sorry, I'm talking about the you know how we do on this channel. We don't just talk about the charts, we're talking about everything. So that's what's going on, right? That's what's going on. And so that's what our idea is on the markets. Okay, right now that's what our idea is on the markets. We've been talking about Bitcoin for a while now. I've referenced the electricity costs. I've referenced the fact that there's a couple other things too. Okay, gold versus Bitcoin. We're gonna get into gold versus Bitcoin. I just bought some gold for my wife the other day because she just kept begging me, and deep in my soul, I said, "Please, please, my love, let me wait until gold drops." She would not let me wait until gold drops, which we've been talking about. That gold, right? I got to get on that tangent because it was killing me. I could not persuade her, and I didn't want to say, I think, I'm watching the gold stock. I think it's gonna drop. I just didn't want to sound like that. But yeah, we're expecting gold to drop. I'm expecting gold to drop. Okay, remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are just my ideas. These are my levels. I'm expecting both gold and silver to drop. I've been saying that we've been in a B wave for a while. Okay, just because of the structure, right? You don't just do this and then continue. You need this third wave at least. Okay, and then you can get 3 waves up, right? You can get 3 down, then you can get 3 up, then you come back down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. That was pretty ugly, but you get my drift, right? And that would be a full correction, okay? And then gold can go up. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to see how it interacts with these levels. We're going to see how it, starts to reverse a little bit. But I do think gold and silver, I do think the train to the upside is null and void. I really do. I was talking about shorting gold and silver a while ago. It would have been amazing because I was talking about it, and then it went down to 4,100. Phoenix, Banano, I was talking about it right here, right here. Okay, so from 53 down to 42. Okay, I talked about it, covered it. Um, you know, I do expect gold and silver to roll over and continue the correction. Silver is a little bit, it's being a little bit more resilient here just because the correction was so much tougher from the beginning. Right, it just had such a larger percentage. But still, right, I think you got this three-wave move. Sorry, three-wave move. And then you got this B, and then now you have a 1, 2. You could have a 3. This is your fourth, and you come down for a fifth wave. Okay, something down through here. I've told you many, many, many times I'm buying silver at 54. I'm starting to DCA. That's my plan. I'm going to start buying silver at $54, and I'm going all the way down to like 48, right? Because I don't, timing the bottom is pretty difficult. I'm not going to say I can time the bottom. I know exactly what the levels are. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Or I know exactly what it's going to do because I don't have a crystal ball. But based on what I know, based on what, my TA, based on my levels, I'm expecting at least 54, and that's where I'll start. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start. And this is good. We want, right, when people say, oh, there's no liquidity, where's the liquidity? Crypto Vision, there's no liquidity. We need more liquidity. We need to be in QE. Yeah, I'm gonna market cap assets. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. Gold right now, market cap alone is $32.9 trillion. Silver is $4.382 trillion. Okay, combined. Okay, I know math is difficult for some people, but we're just gonna give a nice average of. We're just gonna give a nice even number of $37 trillion. Okay, $37 trillion. The entire market cap is $2 trillion. Okay, when people say there's no liquidity, I seriously laugh on the inside. I just wanna laugh, but some people don't understand this. Money, market makers, hedge funds, billionaires, trillionaires, they do not keep their money sat somewhere. It's that old Disney of Daffy Duck's like uncle, right? He gave a perfect, I hope you guys aren't, I hope I'm not aging myself, but he gave a perfect analogy of money never sits, it always moves, right? It doesn't, he comes out of his vault, he's sliding down his gold, right? That's the same concept. Do you think market makers are just going to short this? They're just going to short this? Yeah, they'll probably short it. But the profits that they take, they're not just going to short it. They're going to find markets. They're going to find asset classes that are extremely undervalued, that are extremely oversold. And what are they going to do? They're going to buy that up. They're going to buy that up because they need to be the whales. They need to control the move. So they need to buy at low prices at extreme quantities so they can actually control the move. You can't control the move if you're not a whale. All right, so these whales that are, moving they're moving these assets. Whales are moving. If you think they can't move crypto, they're moving gold and silver, and we already know gold is a $34 trillion asset. They're moving this to their will. Silver, $4 trillion asset, and they're moving it where they want it to go. This isn't random. This isn't okay, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up. No, it's not random. Okay, it's not random. It's all decided beforehand. Okay, it's that plan that I was talking to you about. Okay, so with all that being said, without further ado, let's get into some crypto, right? Let's get into some crypto. Okay, Bitcoin here, it's at 79,000. We have a key level up through here at 78,572. We do. We have a key level right up through there. So if we can close up through there, that would be really nice. That would be extremely nice. We've had that level for a long time. Okay, very long time. So we're looking for a close above 78,000. You get up to 78,000, now you're closing above a key support area that was used as a bounce last April. Okay, so It's a double entendre. You're recapturing a key area that was used as resistance, used as support, and now you're reclaiming it. Okay, that's great news, right? That's great news. I know a lot of bears are kind of teed off right now. You do have it is looking like it is going to be. It does look like it wants to be a W pattern. We've been talking about this inverted head and shoulders for a while. We've been talking about this for. I mean, this isn't stuff that it's. I'm just. If you're new to the channel, right? I'm talking about to the people who are new at the channel. Maybe Banano can attest to this. Maybe Ryzen. Maybe Absurd. Maybe the guy Daniel. There's some people in here. Um, we've been talking about this for a while, right? This inverted head and shoulders. And I've been talking that this is a very scary area, not down here, right? Could it go a little bit lower? Yeah, it could go a little bit lower. Okay, it could have gone a little bit lower. We had 57 all the way down to 53. But right now, so what do we have here is, did this take out the lows? This did take out the lows, I'm pretty sure, actually, on the weekly chart. Did this, maybe not this one. Okay, so right now you have a three-wave move. You have an A, B, C. So you still could be in a, this could still be a correction, right? This still could be a three-wave correction. 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. So overall, that's kind of what I got for Bitcoin, right? We have this. So, you know, if you come up through here, this 88 to 93,000, that's going to be extremely dangerous. Do you cut down and then go? Right? That'd be extremely dangerous. Give me a minute. Someone's at my door. Sorry about that. Double bottom. So you're thinking double bottom, right? You're thinking double bottom now. Banano the skeptic. I enjoy you, Banano. You keep me on my toes, right? You don't let me be a bull all the time. You're always presenting. You and Ryzen are always presenting um, bearish cases, right? You guys were promoting some bearish stuff, and we were talking about that. We were talking about the possibility of being bearish. And we're still talking about this right now. We're still talking about that. I was just talking about this is a three-wave move, right? Until you get five up, this could just be a correction, right? This could just be a correction, okay? But right now it does look good. It looks positive, right? We had this 3-week buy signal. We had this 3-week buy signal, which is very strong buy signal. We've talked about this neckline on this RSI. You close above that, that's way different. That's way different than what we're talking about over here. Okay? Matter of fact, let's just do this already. This has been a long time coming, and we're going to do it right now. Because why not? What else do we got to do? Okay. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just have some fun. We're covering Bitcoin today and some Ethereum, some big charts, and then we'll get into some macro, into some other smaller charts. ABT went crazy today. We were talking about ABT. Something like this. Something like this, right? Something like this almost, right? Something like that. Right, something like this. Okay, so this is that. So this is that last bear market, right? And we're really concerned. If you're new to the channel, we've been dissecting this into here. We've covered multiple different charts on just the overall macro conditions. We've covered Bitcoin versus gold on this chart. We've covered this section so many times because you got to do your due diligence. You can't just You can't just see some green candles and call the bottom, okay? So that's what we're comparing. We're really looking at this correction, but we're really looking at this because a lot of people are expecting this right through here. Okay, you had this move like this through here. Three-way move almost. I mean, it was pretty ugly, right? This is pretty ugly. Okay, so we're going to look at price action, then we'll look at the RSI, okay? So price action wise, okay, price action wise, there was no, right, during this, there was no correction during that. I mean, maybe there wasn't this in between. Okay, that's what's different, right? This came, right? So this is missing something that comes up, comes back down, and back test, right? This came up, came back down, and back tested, right? We're missing that. We don't have that here, okay? It's almost that slow, steady grind up, okay? And now what do we have? We have this vertical move. We have a vertical move above the neckline. Above the neckline, a vertical move above the neckline. And if we look and we take this, okay, if we take this, we're going to keep this on the weekly chart because we don't need it on the monthly chart. We go to the monthly chart and we're going to see something extremely bullish. Okay, I wanted to wait for this. I wanted to present some stuff. This is extremely bullish, ladies and gentlemen. You have a inverted hammer, okay, and then you have a bullish engulfing candle. Very bullish. What was going on through here? So this is that time frame. So you had a bullish candle. That's a pretty bullish candle. But then what did you have? You had a bearish engulfing candle the month after. It ate up that entire candle. This is doing the opposite. It's doing the opposite. Okay, it's doing the complete opposite. It's doing this right through here. Right? You had this huge long wick. What did it do on the next month? It filled it. And this is green. This is green, by the way. This is even more bullish. It could be red, right? You could have an inverted, right? An inverted hammer. Let's say it is red. Let's say that's red. You know what? Sometimes my brain. Can I? Okay, I can. Can I change that color? Okay, cool. Yes, let's go. So if this was red, like that, okay, like that, that's still bullish, right? That's still showing a high short, right? It's because it got shorted. It went down. Okay, and then you get a full candle close above it. That's still bullish. It's just more bullish that it actually closed green. That just means buyer stepped in even more towards the end. Okay, so that's what we're seeing on Bitcoin. Yeah, we're seeing some good stuff on Bitcoin with some good news. The weekly chart looks different on the RSI and price action. Okay, so a lot of things look different. Okay, this was that RSI through here. There's no defeating a neckline, right? If we wanted to be honest, this was the neckline way up here. That was the neckline way up here. If we want to be more gracious, this was the neckline through here. The same neckline we had. What are we doing right now? We are defeating the neckline. An actual high that you ran up to. You did this, you ran up to that right through there. Okay? So that's why I really was saying this high right through here. Because you ran up to it like that. Okay? So yeah, so this move would almost need to come up like that. Something like that. Then you can maybe drizzle, then you can go. That's probably, I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. Also, I've seen this many times. Don't let people use this argument against you, okay? This is, if you're new to the channel, this is not something that you're going to, if this is for people who are new to the channel, okay? This move, okay, we can even use this low. We're not going to use the low of the low. We're going to use this low. Okay, this low to that high was a 1,600% move. 1,600% move. Okay, in the span of 87 bars. Okay, 1,600% move in the span of 87 bars. We're gonna use the low of the low too. So we're gonna give that even some credit. So this right here. So this is a 6. So we're gonna say 700% move. This is a 900% move. This has 900% move bigger. This is a larger move by 900% move, and it took 87 bars. Okay, this took 152 bars. So almost double the time. Okay, so 152 bars, 87 bars. 1600%, almost 1700%, 700%. So if in your opinion, in your mind, when you're seeing something like this, which one do you expect to correct harder? Do you expect something to correct harder that goes up 1,000%, or do you expect something that corrects harder that goes up 100%, 500%? Okay, obviously the one that goes up 1,000%, which is what this went up 1,000% more, is going to correct harder, and this went down 77%. Okay, 77%. This went down 52%. People are saying, well, it needs to, for in order for the bear market to happen, Bitcoin needs to correct down another 20%. No, it doesn't. No, it does not need to do anything. It does not need to do anything. It's already surpassed the electricity costs. It's already done that. Okay, it's already done that. It didn't even do that here. Okay, it didn't even do that here. It came down through here under the electricity cost. That means it was costing more to produce Bitcoin than it actually was worth. That means miners were operating in a net negative. That cannot happen. That cannot happen for anything. If you run a business and your outflows are more than your inflows, guess what? You go bankrupt. It's that simple. If it costs more money to operate your business than you are taking in, you will eventually go bankrupt. Okay, so that cannot happen for an asset class that I've already talked about and established. The president and the people surrounding him are bullish on crypto. Right? They're bullish on crypto. They believe in crypto in the future. And I mean, I think it would be foolish to say crypto is not part of the future. So that's that idea that, even, I mean, let's say this is a 3 move up and it does come down to 53,000. I'm still not even, that's the low then. At that point, that's the low. In my opinion, in my honest opinion, it's like 53,000. I think at this point, that's what we've established. Maybe even 57,000. Maybe you just come down through here, sweep right through there, and then you start going up. Not, I could say I'm not worried. It's just I'm looking. Trying to really read in between the lines of what's going on. I'm just not falling for the BS that the market makers are putting down. Right? I'm not falling for it, and I've done my own research. You can probably tell in my voice, my conviction, and that's why I'm invested in crypto. Right? That's why I'm invested in crypto and crypto affiliated stocks as well. Right, ASST is doing very well. I got back into that. BTOG I got into, and I'm still, this thing is, man, I'm going to talk about that. That's some frustrating stuff, but we'll get into those. As always, if you're interested, drop your ticker, right, and I'll get to it. I'm going to cover this. I'm going to be looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. We'll be looking at that, and then we can get into any kind of tickers you guys request, okay? So be sure to drop those if you guys are waiting for that, okay? Bitcoin versus gold. Bitcoin versus gold. The last time that this printed a green dot on the monthly, it was the bottom. It did it over here. It was the bottom. Okay. I'm waiting for, really, once this prints green, once this dot prints green, right, the low is in. The low is in. The low is in for Bitcoin. The low is in for crypto, okay? I do believe, right, this is a good time to buy crypto. When this chart is down low under through here, right, we can really, look at it on the weekly chart. But once you're down below this 50, I mean, that's a great opportunity. This thing sank down below the 100. Great buy, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, great buying opportunity. And so what are we getting right now? We're getting this slightly, pink MACD. What's the difference? Well, the difference is, okay, this was just crossing down below the zero. This has been down below the zero for months, right? There's differences, okay? What's the difference? This RSI is pointing almost straight up, okay? This RSI is fluttering and almost angled down, okay? There's another difference. We have bullish candles. What do we have? We have nothing, right? It almost looks like the Bitcoin chart, right? So the differences are real. The differences are here. The differences are visually there, okay? So that's what we're thinking about, okay? In terms of the I mean, we talked about this a long time ago. Okay, we had. I mean, this is on the 3-week chart that I talked about this. 3-week chart. You have higher lows. Okay, you have lower lows. You have lower lows. You have lower lows. Okay, you're on 3 different charts. You have 1, 2, 3. You're confirming hidden bullish divergence on a 3-week chart spanning. I'm spanning from November 2022 all the way to March 2026. So almost 4 years. Okay, almost 4 years. So that's also a big indicator that, oh, okay, this is starting to really play out. You're looking for a cross on the stochastic. You're looking for a cross on the RSI. Things are looking good, right? Things are looking good. Okay. On the 10-day chart, you already broke through. And now what are you seeing? Now what you're seeing is a cross above the MACD, which is great. Cross above the RSI, which is amazing, right? So the last time that these crossed and were above, this was below right here, right? The difference is, okay? Crossed and above. Just like that right there. That marked the low. Right, you still have a pullback, you still have a 1-2 setup, and then you go parabolic, Okay, so that's what we're waiting on. That's what I'm waiting on, okay? So gold versus Bitcoin looks really good, really strong. Waiting for that monthly chart to really break out, okay? We're gonna get into some Ethereum. Then we're gonna look at some of these charts. I mean, look at ABT. ABT, we talked about ABT for a while, and it's doing some great things. We called it out back through here. We did. Got the receipts. ABT is looking great. So, where is Ethereum? Ethereum. Look at that. Battling. We got lower highs, which is fine. You do have lower highs. I'm really hoping that this does not print any bearish divergence. That'd be terrible. The MACD looks good. RSI is good. You got a green dot. But now this thing has to move. I mean, price action has to get above. This. We have this trend line, but really up through here. And then if it does get up through here, you really need a higher RSI level. So, looking for a big move. For Ethereum. We've been talking about Ethereum down below, down on these lows, down through here at 1700. It's at 2300. So pretty good level so far. Okay, bouncing right off of a key level, 2664. No hindsight. We have these drawn out way before. The next target for me on my levels is 3000. Okay, and I got Ethereum going all the way up to 7900. That's like best case scenario. Okay, best case scenario. So still pretty good, return on investment in my opinion. You have this flag out, you have a 1-2. This is looking. You need vertical candles now. Now you need some big candles like this, where you're going up on a week. Like you're going up, 30% on a week. That's what you need. If this went up 30%, like shooting all the way up to 2900. Do you think XLM starts to break out, or it's just another fake out? Hey, Banano. I told you about this a while ago, man. We're gonna get into some XLM. You're gonna be very interested in XLM. XLM is one of the strongest looking assets I've ever seen. And I'm not talking about the macro. I'm talking about just general relative strength, especially when we're talking about it compared to XRP. So stick around. I will get into XLM as always. That's my baby. I'm a big XLM fan, as you guys know. If you don't know, I'm a huge XLM fan. I don't hate on Ethereum. XRP. I think XLM will perform a tad bit better. This is not good from Ethereum, right? This is not good, right? That's not good. Okay, that's not good from Ethereum. So, this thing really needs to get out of here. If this is looking, this is kind of looking like a Head and Shoulders, right? Something like that. So, that means you need to break down below the neckline. You'd probably need to break down below 2100. If you break down below 2100, then you're going to back test. You're probably coming down through there like that. And that's just the way it looks, right? That's the way it looks right now. That's what probably bears are saying. Oh, look at the inverted head and shoulders. Okay. The one thing that it has going for it, it does have this nice setup, this 1-2 setup. You have this A1-2. So that is the difference, right? That is the difference with Ethereum. You gotta look at the structure too. Okay. This is clearly a three-way move down. Three-way move down right through there. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. Maybe we're running into the 786. Maybe we're running into some resistance somewhere right through here. Okay. 1272, no 786. Pardon me. Okay, so 1-2. Buckle my shoe. So let's check this out. Actually, it still could be running into the 786, right? It really could. I'm gonna go ahead. I really am. So in terms of lower prices, so since this is the termination point right here, Ethereum really could. Pardon me. Ethereum really could come back down through here. Correction. Back test 2300. So you'd have a 1, 2. So you'd have a 1, 2. You would have an A, B, and then the most explosive of the third wave, C, coming up through here, 2500. Something like that. That would be nice. And then you would have a 3. Okay? You'd have a 1, 2, A, B, C, 3. Got to come back down, maybe back testing. Maybe back testing. You could still come all the way back down and back test back through here. Still set a higher low, possibly. And then you have a, then that's a 5-wave move. Okay? That's a 5-wave move. And you have something in through here where this is starting to look ugly. I'm not going to lie. This is starting to look kind of ugly. Yeah, this is starting to get tricky. It's tricky through here. This almost looks like a diagonal. This almost looks like a diag. Did this close down below here? It almost didn't. It almost didn't close down below through here. So you almost have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Okay, let me check that out. Check it out. I've been checking it out for a while. All right, no closes below. Yes, you have a close below. So this would be your 1, 2. It would have to be your 1, 2. And then your 3 coming down for a 4th wave move, and then this is your 5th wave. You're coming up for your 5th wave. Okay, cool. That definitely could be a possibility. The fact that you're above this triangle pattern, typically it is typically a bearish pattern, but the fact that you're up and you're testing resistance. Okay, you tested resistance, rejected, tested resistance, rejected, tested resistance, broke out, back tested resistance. I wouldn't mind for this to have some continuation and then back test. Right, you need some kind of back test. Then you can go and finish up. Okay, but because the big thing is if this is a 1, 2, then I really want to see this thing back tested, and then you can get going, Okay, because if it's like a 1, 2, that's fine. Then you just have some resistance in through here. Then you gotta get out of it again. Okay, but this is a diag. I mean, you're getting higher highs, right? You got right. Okay. This is the most impulsive so far. This is just kind of a grind up, right? What you typically see. Okay, so that's the idea for Ethereum for right now. You know, give me a minute. Spammers, man, spammers are crazy these days. They don't stop. They do not stop. So let me go ahead and okay. Bananos. Banano asked about the. Banano asked about XLM. I kind of wanted to look at XRP too. XRP really isn't doing anything. Ethereum versus Bitcoin, real quick on the weekly. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. That's why I wanted to cover it real quick. We were talking about this for a while now. Um, what's up, Big Birds? In my opinion, Ethereum will benefit from the Clarity Act the most. I think Ethereum will benefit greatly, and that will do wonders for the crypto market for our altcoins. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. So we've had this channel through here. We've been talking about it for a long time, and we were waiting for this to happen. Really need this to happen. Okay, so we're looking for an actual sweep of the lows. So 26885, and then you can continue. Okay, and then you can continue. This is something that I would expect during that correction that Bitcoin would look like. Right, Bitcoin would look like on this last wave where it's kind of grinding up like this. Looks very different. Um, and so does Ethereum. Just on the weekly chart, this looks different, right? You came up, boom, slammed down. Now you're going back up. Okay, a little bit less vertical than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's more vertical, if I'm being honest, more vertical. But right now, it looks like a three-wave move until you get 5 waves up. Could see some more to the downside. But yeah, Ethereum versus Bitcoin dominance, or sorry, Bitcoin versus Ethereum. You got this 1, 2. You have an ABC for your third wave. You're coming down for a 4th wave move. Okay, 4th wave move, right? You got this 1, 2. You have like an ABC, 3, 4, come down for a 5. Possibly, right? It could really hold right through here, break down, hold. And this could be a diag. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back down. Realistically, you can come down through here, right? Back test this 1 wave high right here. Really could. Right, back test this. And then you have a 1, 2. And then you go. It's just ugly. It's ugly, but I don't care if it's ugly. If it works, it works. So I do agree with this Clarity Act. I think Ethereum could do some great things. In terms of, so we covered that. Talked about gold and silver, stablecoin dominance. You know me. I'm always just bopping around. Look at this. We're right at this 20 EMA. Once again, you lose this 20 EMA, it is over for stablecoin dominance. We've already talked about it multiple times, but if you're new to the channel, stablecoin dominance inversely related to crypto. As this chart goes down, crypto goes up. We've been tracking this chart for a while. We've expected this move for a while based on this chart. Right, so we had this cross down through here, cross, rejection. So now definitely coming down through here, looking to take out these lows, at least these lows down at 38. Okay, what is it at right now? It's at 55. Okay, so you got some red on some dark red with the cross on the MACD. This chart is bearish, right? This chart is bearish, is what we want. We want this chart to be bearish, right? Bears are trying to tell me that this is gonna continue, and I don't know about that, right? You got this 1, 2, you got this 3, you got this nice 4th wave move, and then you came up for a 5th wave. Big move, okay? And it took a long time. It took a very long time. I mean, just to get up through here, it took 200 days. A 200-day move. Realistically, I mean, this didn't even take out the low, so you really could have a 1, 2, A, B, C for a 3rd, come down, come up, because it didn't take out any lows. Just took out lows, right? So you really could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't like that because this can't be more impulsive, so that's why I'm leaning towards what I'm leaving it at. We have some key levels, right? 7091. It almost was taken right through here last week. The low was at 7.094, so 0.003 off. That's pretty, I mean, I try to give it my best. That's pretty damn good, okay? So we know that this is a key level. I know the 20 EMA, people are going to say, oh, look, the 20 EMA. No, it's right below the 20 EMA. You typically will go right down below your EMA and fake people out. I mean, it happened. It happens, right? It happens. It happened. I mean, look at this last run up. Look at this. Right below your 20. Right below your 20. Right below. I mean, right below the 20. Okay, so the 20 isn't like, okay, break the 20 and it's over. Now that's not the case. Francis Hunt said double digit for USDT dominance in May. Double digit. So he's saying that. Who's Francis? Is Francis is he a YouTube guy? Banano. So Francis is saying that that USDT is gonna take this out in May. He said in May, huh? In May. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Even with this red dot through here, it did run up, but it double topped. Right. So he's saying from it's even a higher percentage up to here. So 12% higher than the last high. Market sniper. Yeah, he's probably a big bear too, though. So he probably was saying that Bitcoin was about to go to 40,000 too. I'm just saying, right? We gotta take everything that we hear online with a grain of salt. Even me, you got to do your own research. For me personally, I've already laid out a lot of reasonings for why I think the market is going in a certain way. Right? Realistically, until we break this 7091, he could be right. Okay, he could be right. Okay, but until then, the trend is our friend, and we're going down. Okay, we're going down. The monthly also, we've had this, almost a like a broadening wedge to the upside, and we're breaking down. We're breaking down through here. So we back tested it, slightly faked out, back tested. So looking for a big red dot right here. That would signify that this run is over for stablecoin dominance. And realistically, that's what I'm expecting right now. So I'm expecting more downside for sure. I'm expecting more downside for sure. So until if 779 is broken and taken, then yeah, we can talk about some upside, right? Broken and taken, then we can talk about some more upside. But I still would think that, even if it comes up through here, it would have bearish divergence, and which would be good, right? So that's good. So XLM, let's get into some XLM. Let's go. XLM. Okay. So let me just I'll just delete this. I'll put it back up. So we've had this pattern here for a while now with XLM. Okay. Really looking at this daily chart. Okay. No bearish divergence as of yet. We closed above it yesterday. Okay. We closed above. So no bearish divergence. XLM looks very strong, very good. You have a green dot. You have a lot of momentum to the upside. You're out of this bearish channel once again. You did it down through here, though. You faked to the downside, so this could definitely just be a fake to the upside. That's why we capture the fakes. We never know, right? You never know, but it does look promising. I do like the structure and the way it looks. I liked how this came down. Pardon me. I do like how this came down through here. Bounced almost right on the monthly open, and then took out this high. Okay. So now what do we have? Yep. New highs, okay? So we've taken out some highs. If this can continue moving forward, then what we're looking at is XLM possibly leading XRP, and we have reasons to believe that, and I'm going to get into that as well, okay? XLM on the weekly chart looks extremely bullish, You're taking out the neckline, okay? Okay, so you have a cup, almost head and shoulders, but it broke out. Okay, it really broke out. I mean, this is that a nice W pattern right here, breaking out. Okay, I mean, even through here, I mean, this is beautiful. Okay, you're bouncing on the moving average, and you break out of the neckline, crossing on the MACD, green dot with a bunch of bullish divergence. I think it's bullish, right? I think XLM is looking bullish. You got a green dot on the 3-week buy signal. Look at the 3-week chart. That's not something that's, I mean, that's pretty, that looks pretty bullish to me, okay? You have a green dot. Last time you had a green dot, you went up. Last time you had a green dot, you went up. Okay, you flagged out a little bit, right? You had this almost flat pattern, and then you went crazy. You had one down here, went crazy. We talked about this many times. We talked about it on Monday as well. Um, so right now it's looking really good. Looking for this 4-week chart, but even this monthly chart. This monthly chart is rounded. Okay, we're getting this rounded look. Right, that did not, we didn't have that anywhere through here. Even through here, it was slightly going up, and then came down. We don't have this where it just went straight down, and now we're coming back up. Okay, I put this parabola on it. I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah, look at that. I put the parabola on there, so it's nice and fancy. Look at that. Rejected. Going sideways, breaking out of a previous rejection spot right here. Okay, so XLM to me looks really good. I'm really bullish on XLM. Big owner of XLM, so I'm hoping for some good things to happen with XLM. Okay. Is there anything going on with the news? Real quick. News on the Clarity Act for May, which is great. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So, all right, that's. I think. Do you guys have any? Do you guys have any other requests? Do you guys have anything you want me to look at? I mean, I could look at XLM BTC. Printed a green dot today. XLM BTC, you broke out. Right, you had 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, 4 rejection. You broke out. You back tested. Been going down and sideways, down, and now you've been going sideways. Big break, big move for me coming. I mean, in May. All right, but this is the setup that we're looking for. We're looking for a nice setup right now. So, really looking forward to, seeing what this chart produces. I think on the 3-week there's still a green dot. No green dot yet. Look at, that's just, that next candle is pretty much it. That next candle. This thing is ready, man. I can't wait. Oh, cannot wait. People don't know what's coming with XLM. They don't know. And I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna be like, hey, I was talking about this, right? Blackbirds is looking for Aerodome. Yep, I got you, brother. Well, Velo. Okay, Banana, Velo, Aerodome, and Velo. I think Aerodome is doing good today. And we just covered it, I believe. Maybe not just covered it, but we did cover it. Let's get in here. Let's get it popping. Look at that. Back above. Okay. I like this. Take all that out. Double bottom almost. Let me see what the low is right here. What was the low? What was the close? 30687. Open. 30799. 306. Okay, did take out the low. Okay, took out the lows. Okay, so we don't have a 1-2 setup. So this is invalidated, which is fine. There's no liquidity. Okay, no liquidity here. So that's good. So then we're looking for some kind of correction then, right? We're looking for right now, I mean, where did it start at? Down through here. It's been a nice move so far. It went up to 55% move, up to 41%, $389 million asset. Okay. Looking solid right now. Looking solid right now. Yeah, this green dot buy back through here. Okay. Firing. Okay. Remember, I don't use leverage on this. I don't promote leverage. I don't use leverage. So even taking out the lows wouldn't liquidate you if you had conviction and a plan, right? Had conviction and a plan, and just buy on green dots and hold. Just buy on every green dot, right? Um, okay, let's get into. I just want to check the 3 week. Bada bing, nice. What about the monthly? No, not enough statistics. Not enough statistics. Okay, but a green dot on the 3 week is very nice. Wow, look at that. That is nice. Okay, we're gonna have some juicy stuff. I'm guessing on the daily. Look at this. I mean, breaking down. I mean, right on it. Right on it. I break out, closing above this bearish. I mean, it is a bearish channel, right? You have this A, B, C. You still have a three-way move. A lot of these look like three-way moves. That's how they get you, though. That's how they get you. They show a three-way move. You know, people get nervous. Oh, I don't know if it's a three-way move. They don't get in, and it's like, psych. We're coming down. Psych. We're coming up in 5. This is a 1-2. You missed the lows. Now you got a FOMO, and then once you FOMO in up here, you know you're FOMOing in, then it corrects, and then you sell again, and then it goes. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. You got green on the MACD, which is great on the 10-day. That's good. That's good news. You're above the moving average. That's good news. MACD. I mean, it was the same thing over here. Pardon me. Something just like this, right? Oh no, it's over, and then boom. Oh no, it's over, right? So you need some more vertical candles, though. That's the one thing I can say is not just Aerodome. I think crypto needs some verticality. Crypto needs like a 30%, 40%. Some of these cryptos need like a huge move to get out of this zone, get out of this range, and then it can flag out. Right? Don't stop playing around in this range. Get out of the range. Figured out green dot on the. Okay, so what do we got here? We had. Okay, no bearish divergence because you still came up through here, still made a new high. Yeah, no, it's these. I'm not sick. You are right though. I've often got these. It's these dang allergies because I live down in the Southwest. It's the pollen, so I got some allergies going on. But yeah, no, I'm often, and before this I was in the military and I never experienced any of this kind of stuff. Rarely did, maybe once a year. So I think it's the combination of the environment and then where I work right now because I do medical stuff, and so oftentimes just whatever goes around I'm kind of catching. So, but yeah, it kind of sucks because I like to work out and do things, and then I got this where I'm coughing and I'm not feeling well, and it's like it's hard to work out. It's hard to stay on top of it when you're not feeling great. But I appreciate it. Yeah. So in terms of Aerodome, you see how you were rejected right through here, failed to hold above it, came down. Okay, so that's why I drew this right through here. Reject, 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 kind of reject through here. What'd you do? You came up, couldn't hold it. So this area right here, that pretty much that 38577. If I'm in Aerodome, and if I'm a swing trader, if I'm not long term, if I'm not buying and accumulating, if I'm a swing trader, I'm looking for 38577 to hold. Right? If I'm not too convicted in the realm of possibilities, I'm using leverage. Right? If I'm using leverage, this is definitely an area for a stop loss. Because if you lose this, and you're more than likely coming back down, and even back down to here, back testing, and then taking out liquidity. Okay, back testing. That's what we have to watch for altcoins is back testing and sweeping liquidity. Liquidity sweeps all the time. Okay. In terms of the current move, right? In terms of the current move, is this a 1-2? This is not a 1-2 setup. Is that a 1-2? That could be a 1-2 setup. That could be a 1-2 setup right here. This could be it right here. 1-2. Could be in a 3. We're gonna check that out. This is kind of a sad fourth wave, so you really could be in a 1-2, 3. This could be a fourth wave move, right? Because this is up in 3. I'd be kind of cautious here. Cautiously optimistic, right? Cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I mean, this thing ran crazy for a third wave. The third wave made it all the way to the 2. Really, this is the minimum, right? You're really looking for the 1618. Okay. So, what we're looking for is a correction. So if we have a 1-2, and it's back above the 382. Pardon me. If I'm looking for, if I'm in a position of aerodome, now this changes. This is why we go through and we check out the key levels and things like that. 382, you lose 40.7 cents, more than likely, coming down. Something like that. And you really don't, I mean, and realistically, you really don't want to lose. I'm going to move this right through here. I'm going to move this right through here. Right there. You don't want to lose that. Because this is the wave 1 termination that we're using. We're using this as the wave 1 termination. So you don't want to lose that. Because if you lose this through here like this, you come down through here and you close down below here, then it wipes everything out without a real 5-wave move, right? You got like a 1-2, A, B, C, 3, 4, right? You can back test, then you got to come up, come up through here maybe, and then you can come down. That's the structure you're looking for. For me personally, that's what I'm looking for. So that's Aerodome for you. Hope that makes sense. Really, 54 cents is that next big target range. So, all right, Velo for Banano. I got you. Velo. Velo's not boring. Oh, Velo's kind of ugly. Came up through here, broke down. We don't need that anymore. This is, so at least right now, at least we know that there's not any setup, right? There's no setup forming on Velo. We got to look at the weekly. Yeah, no setup forming. But realistically, it's not that ugly. I mean, no way. This is nice. Okay, we can't use that. I was going to say that doesn't make any sense. All right, so what we got, this actually looks a lot like Jasmine. This does look like Jasmine. This is, I kind of want to see, this is a 1-2, right? This is that 1-2. You always have like your third wave, you have your fourth wave up, then you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what the heck is this? What the heck is that? What the heck is that? Let's check it out. Where are we? Where are we at? Where are we going? I mean, you're right at this key level. I mean, pretty much right at that key level. Let's invert this real quick. Let's check this out. Where are we at? Where are we going? Well, let's be a little bit more accurate. How about that? There we go. Right at the 2272. So you're finding support right at the 2272. I mean, right at the 2272, which is fine. That's a pretty deep correction, right? 2618 is a complete correction, so 0.00006 would be a complete correction. I don't think you can go much lower than that. That would pretty much set all-time lows, so I don't think you're going down there. You got the 2272. That's a pretty deep correction, though. What is it? A $56 million asset? Okay, I can see that. Um, this, I mean, realistically, I mean, you know, 1, 2, 3. You have a 4. You have a 5. I mean, this could just be you know, a fifth wave through here, and you just kind of finished out. You just finished that out, and we can see it on the smaller time frame. The weekly chart, red dot on the weekly chart. Do I have one for Velo? I think I do have one for Velo. I do have one for Velo. So once Velo pops off, um, the Patreon members will get that. Because I think Velo, I think it does have I think it has a good, yeah, all these, once they go off, they go crazy. Okay, so just waiting on that green dot, bullish divergence through here from November 2025 to March 2026, which is good. That's what you'd like to see. The daily chart, no setup yet. Nothing set up quite yet. Auto fib down in the golden range. I mean, realistically, if it needs to come back down, if it needs to come through here, that, like, whatever. At this point, it's not that big of a deal. In my opinion, it's really not that big of a deal. Kind of clear it out, restart, and then because you want to start something, right? You want to start something. You want to get up through, right? You want to start, and then you want to start like a 1-2, and then you can get up, right? Then you can get up. This right now, there's no setup, so I wouldn't enter this asset. If I'm being honest, not right now. Not until there's a 1-2 setup. Not until there's a 1-2 setup. 1-2 buckle my shoe. So let's go into the 4-hour chart. Put the auto fib away. 4-hour chart. Beautiful. We don't have a bunch of stuff on here. Wait a minute. Double bottom. Double bottom through here. Double bottom. It's pretty ugly right now. It's pretty ugly. Yeah, it can't work. It can't work, right? This isn't a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that can't work. That can't work. No. It's almost like a 3-wave move up, 3-wave move down, and then you got this ugly chop, and then you got some chop down. So this, we could be looking at this right through here. This is the only thing I'm really looking at right through there. That's the only kind of possible setup that I would actually see something. Could have a 1, 2, and then you're looking to try to build something, but again, it's already correcting down, so it's pretty choppy in this range. Is my stuff not on the? It's just not. Okay, we're gonna do this. Just right through here. I kind of want to check this one out. There we go. Something like that. And you like this horizontal ray. Okay, something like that. There we go, something like that. Okay, so I would have this pattern, you know, kind of know what the pattern is doing. You know, do you come back down in 3, and then you kind of come back up in 3, back down in 3, and then you kind of do this. Right? That's what you need. You need something like that. So then when you come up, then you back test. Have to, but that's always a possibility. You need something like that. Right now, Velo is not something I would be entering in for a swing trade. If I'm looking to maybe get into something that has long-term value that's really oversold, yeah, of course, it's a possible entry. Look at XCX. Hemi, he was supposed to be buy today. I was supposed to cover some stuff he requested, but he didn't make it through. Look at TARS. Wow. I was really looking to get into TARS, and thank goodness I didn't. Would have been a bad trade. Would have been a bad trade. Now we've, You know, you've fallen through, you're coming up, you're rejecting. I'm really expecting down through here now. At this point, unless it's a fake out, even if it's a fake out, even if you get in through here, I'm still not entering. Not until you get up through here and do this. Then I'll go. I'll enter, right? Need like a 1, 2. I'm entering. That's why I'm entering, right? You guys are getting a little bit sneak preview of the Profit Lab series, but I do this for a lot of different assets, where exactly I'm entering, where I'm getting out. This is just a sneak preview. You know, got to give it to the live members that are coming through all the time. Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. I think it's worth it. I've got some good reviews on it. Wow, MSTR. Wow, this is usually a leading indicator for Bitcoin. Wow. That is so bullish. Wow, that's incredible. You have this W pattern and you're breaking out of the neckline like this. That's, man, I was looking to get into MSTR, like, what was that, like 130? I was in, actually. I was in, and then it freaking, dang it. ABT went crazy today, man. Monthly chart. Whoo, boy, oh boy. Yeah, I got you. I just got to look at MSTR. MSTR came down to this fair value, good value range. Green dot right there. Dang. The low might be in for Bitcoin. MSTR is actually a leading indicator for Bitcoin. Once MSTR breaks out, then it's kind of weird how that works, you know. But you think it's the other way around, since MSTR is just heavily invested in Bitcoin. But once MSTR really starts to run, Bitcoin and crypto market really starts to run. Look at this in September. Started to run. Altcoins really started to get going once MSTR was at the top. Right. So, dang, look at that on the weekly chart above the 20 EMA, right under the 200. This is volatility at its finest when you're compressing like that in between two EMAs. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Why am I invested in DJT? I think DJT is going to do great. Look at that bullish divergence. Bullish divergence through here. And went on a parabolic run. So I think DJT will do great. I think it's heavily shorted right now, but we'll see. The 2-week chart, green dot. 3-week chart, green dot. Wow, it's printing this week. Very interesting. 4-week chart, there's no way. No, not yet. It is rejecting the moving average though. I don't like that. Don't you respect that? Don't you respect that, Blackbird? I mean, he threw everything. Everyone was talking so much shit. Everyone was hating on him. Everyone was saying you're an idiot. This, that, the other, and he just was like, yeah, get bent, and just kept buying and just kept buying and kept buying and kept buying, and now he owns more than BlackRock. So now Michael Saylor is the whale of all whales right now. Right? Michael Saylor's the whale. And he's not going to let Bitcoin fail at this point. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to keep buying it. I don't even care. I'm going to keep buying it. It's so awesome. I love it. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see people go against the herd. And the herd right now has been so angry because they've been expecting lower. Ooh, look at this. I've been talking about ABT too. I've been talking about it specifically in the Patreon lab. So these are things that you guys are missing. You know, I got to put the plug in, but I think it's great value. I've been talking about ABT. We covered a video, but it's key levels on the daily. Been talking about ABT. So now what we're seeing is, you know, you're breaking out and you're back testing. Breaking out, back testing. I think ABT's. I think we got some upside price action. There we go. That's my next target for ABT, 63 cents. So that's my next target for ABT. It does look beautiful. On the daily, it looks great. Look at all these key levels. was talking about ABT back through here. Matter of fact, I'll get the exact date. Exact date. March 31st, ABT is sitting exactly at the level I've been watching. March 26th, breakout watch. Don't miss this. March 26th. Look at that. Right here. March 26th. I keep the receipts, ladies and gentlemen. March 26th. I called that right through there. Right there. 160% move. Called that for the and the Patreon members have been on it. Taco and Blaze, they've been a big ABT. They've been big into ABT. So if you're interested in, like I'm just saying, if these are things that you're interested in for the updates on key breakouts, it's you don't gotta wait, because the next time I go live is Monday. So this thing can change like crazy. So these are the key levels. 32, you're holding above 32. You're looking bullish. Next target 63. Clear this out a little bit. This is the way that it looks like this when you're coming down like this and you have this rounded bottom. I talk about it a lot. I like the rounded bottoms. I would expect some correction in through here. That's probably what it's looking like on the 4 hour. Look at that. Can't make it up. You got this 1-2. Buckle my shoe, ready to go, baby. Where is this at? Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Right through here. Can't make it up. Hey, you can't make it up. Right to the 2618. That's a completed move, so we're looking for a fourth wave correction right now. Fourth wave correction. Coming down, possibly to 786. Really back testing 32 cents. I mean, can't make it up. 32 cents. I would really like to see this thing come back down in 3 waves. Back test 32 cents. Off to the races. I might even enter ABT through here. Re-enter it. Get in, get out, get ahead. All right, good. Where's Buckcoin doing? Not doing great. Not doing great. No. Sidecoin's really not doing much. So, I think that's it for today. We got some ideas of what's going to be going on. XLM's chilling. XCX. It's kind of looking sketchy a little bit. So, yeah, that's what I got for today. So I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you for your support. If you're interested, like I said, in the free Discord, it'll be linked in the description. If you're interested in a more in-depth analysis on tools at your disposal, check out the paid Patreon membership. I think it's of great value for what you get back. As always, I thank you for your support. Have a great rest of your week. Take it easy. Peace. Baby.